Hello and welcome to another edition of Vinyl Night. I'm your on-air personality, Johnny C. Tonight's episode, the Transistor Sister Radio. Better turn that off. We don't want any copyright infringement on the old tube now, do we? I was lucky enough when I was a youngster to be able to listen to records from a young age when I could, you know, put a needle down on a chunk of vinyl, but the radio wasn't too far off. It wasn't too far behind. I used to pretend I was a disc jockey back in the day, early days. Come on now, not that long ago. Excuse me. I would pretend that I was a disc jockey. I would fall asleep listening to the radio. I would listen late at night to the AM stations that you could try and get in from way far away for maybe 10 seconds, and 10 seconds it would go and it would come back in again. A good friend of mine in high school. Once I got into high school, I did get into high school at one time or another. Thank you very much. He was into the CB radio. Well, it doesn't quite count, but okay. Shortwave radio. We did listen to the shortwave quite a bit, to Greenwich Mean Time at the Tone. His father was into ham radio. And while we weren't a very large market, actually it would be considered a small market, our local FM radio station was a very nice station. You could hear many things on there, and I did hear a lot of nice music on there. About as free form as you can get. I remember one night even going up there and playing kazoo on air. How we got around to doing something like that, I don't remember that for sure, but I certainly do remember playing kazoo on air for the local radio station. So what I'm going to do is, I guess I'm just going to get into these records here so you can get the idea of what I mean about radio records. These were put out by radio stations, and most of these are called like homegrown or, hometown, basically local acts that the radio station kind of promoted. The first one up here is KAW 105, even though technically it's 104.9. Back in the day, you could probably get away with just, getting close to 105 if you didn't have the digital readout. These days, a whole lot different. Says 105 on the record, but it's actually 104.9. This was put out in 1983, and it is Northeast Wisconsin's best, and it's a Welcome to Miller High Life Rock to Riches talent search. At one time, Miller High Life sponsored a local band, call it a battle of the bands, what you will, and these are some of the best from this radio station area, Northeast Wisconsin, and these are some of the bands that made it on the record to hopefully become, rock to riches. We have Fly Away by Adam Trask, and Michael Voigt is on here, the Friends, the Hits. This album is from 1983. Right now, unfortunately, as I kind of did a little bit of researching on some of the radio stations, I found that this one is not in service anymore at 104.9. Right now it's WPCK, and they play contemporary Christian music. Some of these stations, they change their formats, trying to stay with it, but some stations like this one, WAPL 105.7, and of course on this one they call it 106. Close enough back in the day. So this is the Apple Cellar tapes And these are just basically, once again, local bands that they kind of bring us a recording, we'll put it on vinyl. A lot of this stuff went to, some kind of charity or some kind of organization in the neighborhood. So what you were doing is you were buying the music and you were also contributing to, a charity or a good cause. So this is WAPL, the Rockin' Apple from Appleton, Wisconsin. 1982 was the year that this was put out. The Rockin' Apple is still rocking, by the way. They still play rock and roll on the 105.7. The next one is 93 QFM, 93.3 WQFM Milwaukee. This one is a nice double gatefold record. Get out of that glare there, Johnny. This might be part one because there's a good possibility from looking at some of these records here that there's a lot of people, and almost all the musicians are named like in the band and that, and it drove my curiosity to wonder, well, how many of them are still in the business, or did any of them make it? One thing about this cover that I did like is that that's a bass player on there. No guitar player, no singer. That's a bass player on there. And of course, you got the old Pabst Blue Ribbon thing going on there. Of course, they're from Milwaukee. This was 1982. Not much for liner notes, but it does say who's what. And on side one, the very first song on here is by a band called Gray Star. And one of the members of Gray Star was a gal named Ruby Star. And she at one point was a background singer with Jim Dandy from Black Oak, Arkansas. Somehow or another, she found her way to Milwaukee and was there for a while before moving on to doing other things. Extra other bonus, this vinyl is colored in here. I think it was my Christmas edition that I ran into a record that had some colored vinyl in it, and I just thought to myself, damn, I really don't remember how many records I have that are colored vinyl, and now I have a double record that, hey, by golly, it's colored vinyl. So I'd like to also thank the production team for making me do this so I can, if I listen to, I don't have a lot of records here, but if I listen to one a day for a year, it would still take me like 9 years to listen to every single record. So thanks to the production team for getting me out to kind of revisit my record collections instead of looking for brand new stuff and listening to it a couple times and then putting it away and forgetting about the rest of what's going on here. So there you have it from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 1982. By the way, in case you're wondering, that's Reverend Raven and the Chain Smoking Altar Boys on there. I don't know how many people give a or not, but that's what it is. Reverend Raven and the Chain Smoking Altar Boys. Just in case. Next one up here is KDKB. Phoenix, Arizona, actually licensed to Mesa, Arizona. 93.3. And this is Volume 1 KDKB. A lot of these records I really haven't listened to in a long time, so I don't remember exactly the songs that are on here. Once again, there's a pretty good amount of liner notes on here and who did what on the records. There's one person on here that was mentioned that his name is Shep Cook, and he was a member of the Stone Ponies. And the Stone Ponies, of course, was Linda Ronstadt's backing band. So some of the people on here do have, ties to bigger things. So this is Arizona Sounds. This one is from 1977, 93.3 KDKB. Oh, bad news about 93 QFM from Milwaukee there. They're no longer a rock station. They're now called WLDB, and they play adult contemporary music. I guess for a while they did go through a jazz phase also. So it was kind of interesting when looking some of these things up of, different various formations that some of these radio stations went through. Which brings me to my advertisement, vinylnightweebly.com. On the vinylnightweebly.com, the print version, and as I've said before, this is a freebie, so it's hard to find unless you absolutely put in the Weebly in there. So there you have that, vinylnightweebly.com. And actually, I do have, let me see. I'll have to do this quick. What the hell? Well, there we go. On the print version there, I have a thing called Radio Wars, where I've listened to the radio before to one station. Ah, you piece of... Look it up on vinylnightweebly.com, Radio Wars, where I've basically, sometimes when you're riding along and you'll be listening to a station, and maybe you'll be listening to the song and you'll think, damn, I'd like to, let's try a different station here. So, and you get a different song and it's like, well, which one am I going to pick to listen to? So, anyway, let's move on here. The next one is, this one's called Homegrown. This is Homegrown 2, and it's 101.5 KGB San Diego. This one was put out in 1974. Once again, the liner notes are pretty extensive on here, explaining everything about the music. Interesting cover going on here. This one was from 1974. They did put out a series of these. I actually have another Homegrown, same station, 101.5 WKGB, or KGB, I'm sorry, no W because they're on the other side of the Mississippi. San Diego, California. This one is from 1976. Once again, nice liner notes, and these are, homegrown, all the local boys and girls. I think if I remember the story, it was from either this one or the other one that Stephen Bishop had sent in a cassette to be considered, and supposedly they were only accepting reel-to-reel copies of your song. But supposedly Stephen Bishop went on to put the song that he submitted on his first record. So San Diego there, you would think maybe there, the market for somebody making it in the biz would be a little bit larger. K95, Y95, WYFE, Rockford. And once again, oh wow, what the hell does this say? Oh, the homemade album. The Rockford homemade album, Y95. And of course, a lot of Chicago area bands. Rockford, of course, being home to One Cheap Trick. So these are the homemade guys that are out there. Put it on the album. This one is from 1981. Once again, I didn't look at everybody's name. Nobody's name stood out on here. I'm sure a lot of these people are probably still in the business of some sort. Maybe, maybe not. Y95 is no longer Y95 as we know it. Actually, now it is a country channel called WRTB, 95.3, Rockford area. The next one here, hometown album, WKQX. This one is from also from Chicago. Hometown album. Nobody on here that I had recognized. Cast of characters. This one is from 1977. Q101 Rock. So it's 101.1. Let's not forget that. Hometown album. And this is the last one in the series here. Yay! Am I forgetting anything? Nah, I guess not. Oh, I did want to... Did I thank the production team for making me look through these records? Look at that. Was it just 4 minutes ago that I was supposed to do that? Thank the production team, and now I can't remember for sure if I did that or not. And it's only been 4 minutes. I better move on. Well, this one is kind of... It's still a radio record. And that would be Bob and Tom. The Bob and Tom Show, of course. Q95. It is radio. Shabby Road. Bud Light presents. And of course, I'm sure there could be a very large portion of you that are, excuse me, oh my, familiar with the Bob and Tom Show. Cast of characters on here, even Chick and Christy are mentioned on this record. Of course, Bob is no longer part of the program, but it is still called the Bob and Tom Show. They're still having at it. Oh, I did forget to mention about the WKQX is that they still play their rock and roll on that station. So they made it. This one here, of course, maybe some of the musical acts that some people might be familiar with. Duke Tomato and the Power Trio kind of came. Some of the publicity helped out with being affiliated with Bob and Tom. The Electric Amish, in case you are not familiar, check that out. You should be able to find some Electric Amish. Dirty Deeds Done with Sheep. You also have, and I did not know this until this album is from 1987, by the way, so it's an early one. Bob and Tom have been around for a long time. When I looked up Bob and Tom to do, once again, take a look at the record and see if I could get a little info back behind it, I did not realize that one of their characters on the show, Donnie Baker and the Pork Pistols, and had passed away. And now it's not behooving me that I did not write down his proper name, which is not... I'll put it on the crawler there because I'll have to re-look it up. To pay respects, I should really give the proper name of the fellow that played Donnie Baker and the Pork Pistols. So there you have it. Local radio station putting out some of the local music or local vibes, local comedy. Let me see. Let me try this one time. Huh. What happened there? Did I... Technology. Transistor sister. Live wire. Good night.